Hey, aloha guys. Eric West here, HawaiiRealEstate.org, coming to you live from the beautiful island of Maui, Hawaii.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys so much for joining. As you know, I've committed this channel to telling the story of what happened here in Lahaina on August 8th, 2023, through the eyes of survivors. Today I'm featuring Tyler, and if you not enjoy, but if you support content like this, because talking about this stuff is not necessarily enjoyable, but if you support content like this, it is very important to keep the story of these survivors alive, keep this in the mainstream thought process of forefront, thank you Tyler, of the American consciousness, because this is one of the greatest tragedies that's ever occurred in our history, and it's just being forgotten, and these people have been forgotten, and what they're going through is beyond a travesty. And so it's very important that you like, share, and subscribe. This channel has been shadow banned, there's no question in my mind. And we're going to keep this story alive, and we're going to make this thing right. We're going to keep putting it out there until the right thing happens. So today I'm talking with Tyler. Tyler is a really neat young man. His dad is a pastor at a church called Grace Church,
Rupert, Idaho.
Rupert, Idaho. He's a wonderful man of God from what I see. He likes to ice bath, so he's got my vote of confidence right there. But
yeah.
Big shout out to your pops. But Tyler came over here, and I'm not going to tell his whole story, obviously, but he was actually with me the night of the fire. He stayed in our home after he got displaced from his home. He was there, and he's also gone so far as to start his own channel called Survive or Thrive, and he's actually done interviews of survivors, and I'm here to just finally interview him. He's never asked for a thing, you know, honestly, and that just is a real testimony to his character. And it's a lot of people here in Lahaina, they don't ask for any help, and so that's why we got to step up and do the right thing. So amen. Tyler, I want to thank you so much for graciously taking some time to talk to us and to finally tell your story.
Yeah.
One of the amazing things about Tyler is that his home is literally located at the highest point of the home that burned in Lahaina Luna. So he is right at the highest point. So if you ever go to Google Maps, I encourage you to do that, because Google Maps shows all the burned homes. If you look at the highest home in Lahaina Luna, his home was right next door. And how the fire got there makes absolutely no sense in my mind. But I'll let Tyler talk a little bit about that day and what he experienced, and you'll hear it straight from the horse's mouth. So without any further ado, Tyler, talk us through that morning. I know you, like a lot of people, were sleeping.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that a lot of people were sleeping that day?
Oh yeah, sleeping in. I'll start off by saying this. It was some weird vibes going into it, even the day before the fire. I noticed something just being off, and I didn't let it get to me, but I cooked dinner that night, went to bed, and that's when the wind started kicking on, right around like 12 o'clock, midnight, and
did you notice the power go out?
Yeah.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, the power was cut right around that same time. I struggled to get any sleep that night, and woke up that next morning around 9. And
was your cell phone working?
No service, no power, nothing. I did hear rumors of a fire just right across the street from Luna Road.
The brush fire?
Yeah. So if you ever been to Lahaina, my house I was renting was just a block down from Lahaina Luna Park on the hill. So I was really close to
below the bypass, right? Just below the bypass.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So got word around 9:30 that there was a small fire. By 11:30 the fire is out. I figured I would put eyes on the fire to make sure it was indeed out, and just to kind of check out traffic and see the situation. So I ran up to the park when the wind died down. It was extremely weird that day. The wind gusts were like on and off, like super unnatural. Still to this day, I can't make any sense of it.
Was the wind ever blowing to the north or to the south, or was it always blowing directly towards the ocean?
Yeah, straight down towards the ocean. So
straight down the hill.
Yeah, yeah. So me and you were chatting, and we didn't understand why or how the fire could like travel uphill when the wind and everything was blowing south and then west. So
I recently talked to Sean King. Some of you may know him. He lived in the neighborhood, also Lahaina Luna, but below where Tyler lived, below, and on the south side of Lahaina Luna Road. Tyler is on the north side of Lahaina Luna Road. So Sean King said the fire entered Lahaina Luna from the field right next to his home on the other side of Lahaina Luna Road. And that's below Tyler's house, a significant way, down below. So somehow the fire crosses Lahaina Luna Road and then goes uphill towards Tyler's home and stops just short of Tyler's home. So I find that interesting that it could go against the wind.
Yeah.
And also another thing that's very interesting is the fact that North Front Street caught fire, because if you look at Google Maps, again, follow Front Street all the way to Baby Beach, that's where the fire stopped, at Baby Beach. Then there's this huge concrete, I don't know what you call it, not a culvert, but a massive spillway that exits right there, and somehow the fire starts up again on North Front Street and Waikuli, which is completely separated from Lahaina town. So I just encourage everybody, go to Google Maps, look at the burn, you can see, and just start asking yourself logical questions.
Right.
Do you have any opinion on how it started? Do you have any thoughts, any insight?
We were told it was power lines, and then that turned into a brush fire, and then it just grew from the wind. But yeah, I have a lot of speculation. You can only have so many red flags until your gut starts telling you the truth. And a lot of people can't swallow the truth, so to speak. It's a hard pill to swallow. But I encourage you guys to reconsider the events that happened that day. Just like even leading up to that day, there was nuclear submarines just right out here. I work actually here at the Royal Lahaina at EYEWITNESS, Hawaii. But yeah, we're out, having a regular day working, and we noticed submarines, and then a huge warship, and then huge like aircraft carriers. So there was a lot of weird energy leading up to the day of the fire. So those are all just things to consider. But like I said, you can only have so many red flags before you start to really question what happened that day. But anyways, I hardly slept the night before. I'm a super light sleeper. The house felt like it was getting ripped off the foundation. So I'm checking everything out. Noticed that Lahaina Luna Road was locked up. Same with the Poly. And
so drive bumper to bumper traffic. So you try to leave your neighborhood in your car. By the way, you'll be amazed what basically saved Tyler's life, a decision that he made because he left in his car. Right. And you're sitting in your car for how long roughly, would you say? And about what time would you say you got in your car?
So it was after I checked out the situation, took a nap. I woke up from the nap. So you went
back to bed. So the brush fire was all clear.
Yeah.
And you go back and take a nap.
I'm thinking it's safe to go catch up on some sleep. I wake up from just a bunch of commotion from my neighbors next door to me.
It wasn't an evacuation or?
There was no warning whatsoever.
Okay.
It was, the last thing we heard was 100% contained, and then boom, I wake up in a frantic with the fire literally like on top of our neighborhood. So I run out to my door, and then that's when everything like went into slow motion. I noticed 6 of my neighbors jumping into one car, and my buddy Tim's like, dude, leave now, this is serious. And then I saw this like grandma with a bunch of belongings just seized up, just totally panicked in the middle of the road. And then right after that, I saw a dog that was on fire running across the road, and just crazy, like the worst case scenario, like people screaming, yelling, crying, just throwing their belongings in their cars and just trying to evacuate. So I pack a bag as fast as I possibly could, jump into my car, start heading down the road. I meet a police officer coming up the road. I roll down my window and he informs me that Luna Road is blocked off. There's tons of cars on fire, and the only way out is to cut across the hillside and evacuate down through the lower income subdivision. So you got roughly 3,000 people trying to evacuate out of this 2-lane road. So I cut across about 6 blocks, I go down a block or 2, and then boom, I'm stuck in traffic for 59 minutes. I timed it, and here I am just processing everything, praying. I get out of my car because I moved a car space in front of me, and I'm like, okay.
So how far are you from your house now? Roughly an hour or so later, how far are you from your house?
Like 7, 8 blocks away.
7, 8 blocks away.
Yeah.
And the fire is obviously coming.
Yeah, it's moving very fast, and at this point, the fire is maybe a block away from these rows of cars, and I jump out. I had my motorcycle helmet on just so I wouldn't get smashed by all the debris flying. Talking to the uncle behind me, he's all, yeah, bro, it's not looking good. We better ditch the cars, and that's when I jumped back in my car. I wished him well, and I was like just praying to God. I'm like, hey, look, you know how much I want to save this car and just get out of here with my own life.
So you're praying for your car?
Yeah. I'm praying for the whole situation.
You got a nice car, so.
So, and that's right after that prayer. Not the person in front of me, but the one in front of her did a U-turn. So I had my little window of opportunity, flipped around, and my thought process was get as far away from the fire as possible, of course. So I drive back up a few blocks to the top of the neighborhood below the bypass and parked as far left away from the fire as possible. And that's when I threw my backpack on and cinched up my bag and boosted it back to my house that was nearly on fire. The house next to me just caught fire, so by the time I got there, and I keep my motorcycle in the back parking lot, so I have to run this fence line, and the fence line's almost on fire. So it was crazy. These flames are 40 feet tall, and just super, just like hectic. Black smoke. You can't see where you're going at all, and
the air was super heated too, right?
Oh yeah. So as I made my way to my motorcycle, all the hairs on my body but my head instantly singed, and I smelt burnt hair, and everybody knows what that smells like. It's just terrible. So
you get on your motorcycle.
Yeah. I remembered my GoPro and my computer, and I was like, oh, can't start a YouTube channel without those things. So jumped on the motorcycle, and I just started booking it, snaking around everybody. I passed the traffic that I was in, and then made it to the top of the low income subdivision that is newer. So it's 2 lanes of it's a 2-lane road with 4 lanes of traffic going out, but there must have been a power line or something down at the bottom because nothing's moving. So I'm literally on my motorcycle like 10 yards away from everybody's front door, driving in their lawn, like just trying to evacuate. And same thing is going on. Everybody's crying, screaming. I see a bunch of animals running around. People are just throwing stuff in their cars, just trying to move, super frantic. And then the thing with the wind was there'd be periods of 20-30 seconds where you can't see anything because you're just in the smoke.
Just black.
Yeah. Luckily I had my face somewhat protected by my motorcycle helmet, but I proceeded to evacuate out of the neighborhood, and I popped out the end of Foodland Farms, cut through that neighborhood over to the Shell gas station, and jumped back on just the highway, the main road there. And that's when I saw 2 police officers posted up, and they were redirecting traffic back up into another neighborhood above Shell gas station, right in front of Safeway. I tried driving past the police officers, and they nearly tackled me. So I had to swerve them, go back up into the neighborhood. So yeah, I was sent back into the fire by police. So here I am in the same situation, just a little worse. Driving by houses that are burning down, cars are exploding. It's just chaos. Luckily, I was able to do some good. Some guys like yelled at me, and he asked for a ride. He jumped on my motorcycle, took him down to the lower road. So nice. I'm glad I was able to, help somebody. But yeah, jump back. Oh yeah, and I forgot a crucial point. Behind these 2 police officers was open roads. You got full traffic, line of cars coming into Lahaina, but nothing going out. And further up the road was a power line, like maybe halfway leaning into one of the lanes. So there's no reason why they couldn't evacuate it out of Lahaina towards Kapalua. So
as you're seeing this in your mind, you're wondering why.
Yeah, I'm like, what the heck? I'm driving through these guys.
Yeah.
And then they forced me to go back up into another fire. I drop off the guy, and then I'm just thinking, I got to get to the West Ohana. Like, I got to tell them, like, what's up? Like, you guys are like my family out here, and I love and can't thank you guys enough for everything you guys do and what you've done. So I get to the golf course. I take a little shortcut to their house, and that's when I get upstairs, and I'm talking to everybody, just kind of explaining the situation. I'm like, hey, look, now's not the time to think. It's time to act. We got to go. I barely just dodged 2 fires. Like, get your belongings and let's go. And then that's when you arrived, and we kind of made a game plan, and yeah, we packed up the cars and
evacuated.
Yeah,
we evacuated our house in Kaanapali and stayed at condo north of Kaanapali, and Tyler was helping us with the evacuation because that brush fire was now moving to the north.
Right.
So on that, another question I had for you, Tyler, was the next day. You were like one of the few people that I thought you were so brave to go into Lahaina. Like, I thought he was crazy, but he took his motorcycle the next day into Lahaina, and you were probably one of the first people back into that town.
Yeah.
And it kind of gave me the courage to go in the next day when I did my drone video and rode around on my motorcycle. But if it wasn't for Tyler, I probably wouldn't have gone into that town. But tell us a little bit about what you saw, because you were in there. What time would you say you were there the next morning in Lahaina town?
I first went through the whole town around 9:30
a.m. the next day.
Things were still on fire. I saw a lot of destruction and devastation, of course. Unfortunately, I saw about 7 bodies, and you just can't ever unsee that.
Yeah.
But rest in peace to everybody that was lost in the fire. Like, I just pray for their families and just a recovery. But yeah, it was devastating. I had to go back up to my neighborhood too, and the row of cars I was stuck in were, they're still there, burned. So I'm praying that most of those brothers and sisters, just got on foot and evacuated.
Oh, you're saying the spot where you decided to turn around.
Yeah.
You went back to that spot, and those cars that were around you were burned.
Yeah. So it was the same cars, like the
So you recognized the cars?
Yeah, the Tacoma.
You were staring at them for an hour.
Yeah, I'm well aware.
And obviously your car, you went and found it, and you
parked
it far away enough.
By the grace of God, it survived.
Yeah.
Prayers were answered. And
then you go to see your house, and literally the fire went right to your bedroom, literally, right?
Right. Yeah, it was crazy.
The house next door
fence,
burned.
The fence and the trees, and our house is partially burned, so it's, you know, I can't live there anymore.
It's not habitable, yeah.
Right. But yeah, it's just really ironic. I got the whole scoop the next morning by my neighbor Jeff, 6 houses above me. He helped wave down a water truck, and
really,
yeah, helped put the fire out.
Was it Truth Excavation was up on your street too, or another water truck?
It was just one of the water trucks.
I heard Truth Excavation was up there. Chemo's company helping save houses and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a ton of people just, you know, doing what they could and just spraying down houses and trying to fight this fire.
It's amazing what one water truck could do. There was also a water truck in Kahoma Village, also that saved Kahoma Village, is what I've been told. But just one water truck, because obviously there was no water available. There were no firefighters spraying water that I've seen in any clips. Did you see any?
No.
Did you see anyone fighting the fire? Any firemen or anything like that?
No. The only fire-related firefighter thing I saw was there was a fire truck at the base of like the neighborhood where you enter to go up the hill to my house. There was a fire truck that totally burned, so they obviously were trying to fight it, and just got, you know, caught up in the flames.
So before we move on to what's happened since and the runaround that you've been experiencing and you've seen other people experiencing with trying to get support and help, anything else you want to share about the day of the fire or shortly thereafter? Any other thoughts you have, or you want to move right on to what it's been like ever since?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm just a regular guy. Eric's a regular guy. I've been a follower of his for, you know, 2 years, and it's been about 2 years, and he's actually encouraged me to move out here. And
you mean you follow on the YouTube channel?
Yeah. I've followed your channel.
So you actually watched the channel before you moved to Maui?
Yeah. I first came out here when I was like 16 for my senior trip, and just fell in love with this beautiful paradise. And
then you ended up meeting my son Dylan when you were working at the Ritz.
I was the beach manager down there at the beach shack.
Down, like the beach boys down there helping people with their beach chairs. And,
yes, for Maui concierge.
And
that was a ton of fun.
And after that, now you're with E-Foil Hawaii. So by the way, E-Foil Hawaii shout out. They're located here at the Royal Lahaina. And they were the first activity to come online on West Maui after COVID. Yes. And now you're one of the first activities to almost come online, right? You're right around the corner. You'll be fully operational pretty soon. But if someone's interested and they want to go for E-Foil with you, they can just go to E-Foil Hawaii? Or what?
Go to efoilhawaii.com, and then if you book with us, you can save like, I think 10 or 15% if you put Tyler EFH. So
I'll put that I'll put that link and that code in the comments section.
Yeah, for sure.
I've also got Tyler's Venmo if you want to help at all with him financially. Obviously, you haven't been. You've been trying to do a little bit of work with the company, but you're not doing full tours yet. But
So we're just working remotely right now. So business is slow. We definitely could use your support. So come out here. We'll teach you how to fly
on the water.
If you ever done any board sports, it's probably one of the best in my opinion. But yeah, anybody can do it too. You know, I always tell people we've taken out 6-year-olds and as old as 86, but yeah, it's a ton of fun. You can, you know, sit on the foil, you know, lay on it. You preferably stand on it if you want to really enjoy it. But yeah, come support me and the company at E-Foil Hawaii here in West Maui.
And one of the things I really want to make stand out in these interviews, because it's a common theme I'm hearing from people, is what it's been like as far as support from the government, from the federal agencies, from these different organizations that are supposedly helping fire survivors, and just give them a little bit of rundown of what you've experienced firsthand since this. You lost your job, you lost your place to live. What's it been like trying to get support through these different organizations?
For the most part, it's just a mess, to be just blunt about it. The only support really that has been helping anybody here is Red Cross. So,
because they're providing the lodging, right?
yeah. They first set me up at the Hyatt for, I don't know, 3 weeks, and then they actually kicked us out with no notice.
Like what, 12 hours notice?
No,
Not
zero
even that.
notice. They knocked on the door and they're like, you got to be out
Boom.
tonight. So yeah, me and my buddy Gabe was, we were homeless for, I don't know, 7 or 8 days.
So you got kicked out and you were homeless for a week?
Yeah, because
Wow.
they gotta, you know, this island doesn't operate without the tourism. So they're just trying to reopen the west side. So
So you got booted because they were opening up those rooms for tourists?
yeah, of
They
course.
just didn't have another place for you to go?
Yeah.
So,
And
how did you end up with another place? You just had to wait or just get on the phone? Or is there a lot
we
of...
waited and went to the Civic Center every day for, 8 days. But it was, I don't know, just very inconvenient living out of a van for a few days. But,
Well, thankfully,
it's not the worst thing.
'Cause some people don't even have a vehicle.
Right.
Yeah.
So they rehoused us here on the other side of Black Rock at the Royal Lahaina. So that's been super awesome. Super blessed to, have a bed and some food. But
How long have they told you you're good to go here? Do you know?
they don't really tell you much.
Okay.
It's just kind of, you got to check in every few days and operate by their guidelines. And if you don't, they just boot you. But yeah, everybody is, still processing what happened and healing, and it's going to be a long time before things are back to normal. But like Eric says, like, come out here, support us. Like, we need your guys' help, and we also need more people like me and Eric that stand up and fight a good fight and believe in fighting for what's right. So
Seeking the truth.
yeah, seeking the truth. I've been a truth seeker ever since like my junior year of high school, I would say. So and yeah, I demand the truth, and you guys should too. So that's the whole reason why I started this channel, to give back to the place that has given me so much, and to live out my visions, and do my whole YouTube channel. It's at Survivor Thrive, no spaces, no capitals. But yeah, I'm promoting a lifestyle that is not just where you're mentally surviving, you're mentally thriving. You're not fulfilling basic needs. You're embracing the moment and doing things that are uncomfortable, and you're tapping into that flow state. So yeah, come check out my channel. That would be huge. I need all the support.
And Tyler has been one of those guys that has totally tapped into that flow state and understanding part of even what I'm trying to do on my channel,
Yeah.
which is like, look, all of us have the ability to do what we're doing, which is what? We're pointing a camera, we're showing what's going on, and we're asking for help.
Yeah.
And part of this whole thriving mentality, in my opinion, is that the people of Lahaina have been pushed into a corner.
Absolutely.
And the only way, honestly, I believe they're going to thrive is if they get help. I mean, they need real help. Like literally, they need real help, because what's happening right now, I'll give you another quick example. Tyler was a 1099 subcontractor. He's not an employee. He was a 1099 subcontractor with eFoil Hawaii. So therefore, he doesn't qualify for unemployment, right?
Yeah,
So
no unemployment.
No unemployment.
I've been living off of my savings for the last 3 months. So that just kind of shows my situation.
So there's a lot of people that are caught in these gaps. I have another person I'm going to interview in a couple of days, Brooke. She lived in Opukea and it didn't burn down. She can't live there. There's no utilities, but that actual building didn't go down. So her insurance, because they don't have access to that portion of Lahaina yet, is completely stalled. So she's not gotten any income replacement or rent replacement. Her insurance claim is paused until they can enter in, because they don't know the status of her building, because they can't access it. So there's all these I guess it's kind of how our thing started. There's all these gaps.
Right.
And I honestly
Fill the
believe,
gap.
yeah, the gap that needs to get filled is a financial gap, straight up. I mean, that's just what it is, and that's where everyone is going to fall short. The $700 falls short. The insurance company falls short. Everyone's falling short. So I believe one of our duties as human beings is to bring awareness to the situation and to make people that have influence pay attention. For example, Mr. Beast, the #1 YouTuber on planet Earth. Any video he touches gets 20 million views. He has an organization called Beast Philanthropy. I'd like you guys to start shouting out Maui to Mr. Beast. Let's buy back Lahaina and let's have Mr. Beast help us pay off every mortgage in Lahaina. And then from Mr. Beast, we have other influencers. We got Joe Rogan, we've got the UFC fighters, we got, Glenn Beck, we have just all the people that have now access to media devices such as this that can help, that need to step up, and they need to help because guess what? The government's not going to do anything, right? They're going to make life tougher. As far as mental health goes, they just drag you through the dirt and make you call these phone numbers and go to these websites and start over and get kicked out with no hour's notice. They are essentially wearing down the people of Lahaina.
That's exactly what they're doing.
For a meager nothingness.
To push them out.
And these people are caught in the gap. And so if America doesn't step up and start paying attention, because the mainstream media is not going to do it, right? Mainstream media, as you all know, is broken, okay? It does not represent we the people. It does not represent news reporting. It does not represent the truth and reality. So just forget about it. Turn it off. You're not going to find it there. You have got to turn to social media, and we need the influencers, we need the captains of social media to step up and start paying attention. I'm just a small fish, you're a small fish, but guess what? We can ask the bigger fishes to step up and help. So part of the reason I'm doing these videos, part of the reason Tyler's doing these videos is that you don't hear it from me, you hear it straight from the horse's mouth. You hear it straight from the people that are here living this nightmare, and the nightmare didn't started the day of the fire, right? The nightmare started once that fire got put out. That's when the nightmare started. And so you can just go back to your life and think, oh, everything's fine down there. They're taken care of. We'll maybe go visit Maui in a few years when it's all just tidied up. That's not the right answer. It's just not, because these people are going to be gone and their houses are going to be taken, and their land, their houses have already been taken, but their land's going to be taken by the banks straight up. Their mortgages are still due. They're severely underinsured. And the people that try to work here, well, guess what? They're going to leave. Because there's no jobs, because you guys aren't coming here on vacation. Straight up. So this all gets fixed real simply by everyone communicating the truth and getting influencers to care. So that's my little 2 cents. Thank you for letting me interject that on this interview.
Yeah. No, it's all great information.
I appreciate you stepping up, filling the gap while I was gone. I had to go to the mainland for a little bit. But let's talk a little bit more about other things that have happened since the fire. What are some other gaps that you've seen from the people that you've interviewed, Tyler? We've heard a little bit about your story, and there's way more we could talk about you. And of course, I'd love for you to help Tyler out. His Venmo is in the comments. It'll be in the description. Help him out. Go do a tour with him. Spread the word about eFoil Hawaii. But the people that you've interviewed, has there been a common thread that you've heard besides obviously the loss, but in terms of the treatment and what they've experienced since the fire?
Yeah, it's just kind of everybody's in a survival state and just helpless and not really knowing where to turn or what to do next. Like, it's totally, this whole thing's weaponized, and like people are just, I'll say it again, completely helpless. Like they need people like us to, set the example and, give them hope and
put the spotlight on what's going on.
Yeah. You gotta, number one, accept the reality of what really happened, and then you gotta start the recovery process. You gotta heal, and the only way you're gonna do that is coming together as a community, as a family, and
and get rid of the roadblocks. I've heard stories that there's people that are coming over here with with houses that they can build, temporary houses, and they're not getting permits from the county. They've got the land, they've got the houses, and the county is shutting them down. So it's just a lot of different roadblocks, but I think ultimately, the more people that we get to pay attention to this thing, the more that you share, the more that you care, the more that you do whatever you can do within your realm of influence. That can start a fire, that can start, someone can watch this video, someone can hear Tyler's story, someone can start paying attention that forgot about this, someone can go to Google Earth and look at the distance between the homes that burned on the north end of Front Street and where the last house burned in Lahaina and say, how did that happen? How did Waikuli catch fire? How did it catch fire? I don't know. The grass didn't even catch fire behind it. It's just a lot of unanswered questions. And who's doing the investigation? Who's being held accountable? What is happening in terms of Maui and providing the assistance that we need? And we're all thinking human beings. How can you expect these people to make their house payments for the next 2 to 3 years when they're underinsured? It's pretty obvious who's going to get that land. When they stop, I already know people that are getting foreclosure notices for their properties. So if you're out there, whoever you are that's listening, and that means all of you, but there's also going to be some people out there that are listening that have influence, that have audiences, that have a sphere, and it means you sharing it somewhere that all of a sudden they maybe hear about this, and they hear Tyler's story straight from the horse's mouth, and someone that has been boots on the ground, hasn't left the island except for a quick trip to Idaho, I think, right after.
Yeah, I went back home for 2 weeks, but altogether I've moved 5 times since this fire.
5 times?
That's not an exaggeration, that's the truth, 5 times. So yeah, it's just like, you know, I've had it, you know.
But you want to stay?
Of course, yeah.
Right.
This is my community now.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're leading the charge on the survive or thrive mentality. What are 3 takeaways that you would give people that are watching this video right now that are dealing with this? Because you're dealing with it. That's what I love about what you're doing. You're not just preaching it, you're living it every single day.
Yeah.
What are the top 3 things that you would share with someone that's watching this video right now, that's going through this right here in Lahaina right now? What are the top 3 things to help them go from a survival mentality to a thriving mentality?
Yeah. Number 1, I would say there's hope through movement. So start your day off right and get the body moving, activates the mind, and just sets your day up for greatness. And then, yeah, just do like, just try to be a hippie, like ground yourself, stare out the sun, get vitamin D, like
connect with nature,
take your supplements. Yeah, absolutely. This stuff works. Everything's like trying to pull you the other way. So you got to fight a good fight and go against the grain and intentionally want that flow state out of life, and you know, to fill your life's calling. But you're not going to do that when you're a product of the machine. That's just what it's a new saying I like that just came to me a few days ago. You're a product of the machine or you're a product of God, and it's your decision on what you're gonna allow yourself to be. So it's your life, you know, have your way with it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And with that obviously comes, in my opinion, starting and ending every day in prayer. And,
Absolutely.
And praying over yourself, praying over your family, praying over this situation, praying over Lahaina.
Yeah.
And ultimately we believe that God is in
charge. Yeah.
Right? He's the authority, and he's not going to let this go down. And I said a prayer over Lahaina the day after the fire, and I just declared that they're not going to, whoever they are, whatever it is, they're not going to get away with it.
Right.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, we're not going to stop until justice is served.
Right. The destruction happened, but that doesn't mean the destruction has to continue to happen.
Right.
And that the people will be held accountable, and that there will be justice, and that people are going to come and help, period. And they're not going to forget, and we're not going to let you guys forget. And we know that you're watching this right now, you're not going to forget. So we have friends right now on this YouTube video that are going to help us, and that together we can make what's supposed to happen
Yeah.
for the forces of good, and that the forces of evil and the bad guys, it's just like a good movie, the bad guys are going to lose,
Right.
period. But we all have to do our little part, whatever it is. So I start my every day telling God that I am available to do whatever it is that He wants me to do. We're supposed to offer ourselves as living sacrifices, right? So part of that is giving your time, talent, and your treasure, and keeping, like Tyler said, in the headspace where you don't let goofy hater mentality get to you, and you literally just move forward, because God's got a plan, and He's going to get us out of this, and He's going to make it better than it was before. I truly believe that.
Amen. Yeah.
So with that, Tyler, I know your dad's a preacher. I know you got that preacher blood in there. You want to end this on a nice little prayer?
Let's do it.
All right.
Dear God, thank you for this man of God. I can't thank you enough. He's much better in person. I was a fan of him before, but even in person, he's better than that. So I just thank you for him and his family, and I thank you for giving us this opportunity to get the truth out there to the world, and just guide and direct our footsteps in your precious holy name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Tyler. I just put you on the spot right there. I appreciate that, man.
I usually don't pray in front of my friends, let alone an audience.
Got to start sometime, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
If not now, when?
That's right.
People.
So step out of your comfort zone, no matter what it is. You cannot even fathom the comfort zone that these people no longer live in. Matter of fact, when I was parking here at Lahaina Royal, we were going to do this in front of his partially burned home, but there's traffic. There's been fires. 2 fires, I think, started on Maui in the last 48 hours. So there's just a lot of things going on. But I saw a family, and I looked in their car, and I could see like stuff they had from their house and their garage and cleaning product. It was just like they're living out of their car, they're staying here. The comfort zone, they don't have a comfort zone anymore. So for just a moment, try to imagine you lost everything, your house is gone, your job is gone, and you're not even getting any money from anybody. The insurance is dropping the ball. Just try to put yourself in that mindset of what that could be like. And then ask yourself, what can you do right now to get out of your comfort zone? We're supposed to carry each other's burdens, and so to help. So pray to God, ask Him what you should do. You could just do something simple like a FOIA request. You could contact any department of the agency of the government and say, hey, I want to see the records that day of what happened. You could do something. You can make a noise somewhere and show the people that you care. And I believe every little thing that we do makes a difference.
It does.
Every little
Yep.
thing that. So just don't watch this video and be quote unquote entertained. Watch this video and do something. Be bold, step up, step out, and do it for your common man. And someday you'll look back and you'll be part of the history of making this wrong right.
Right. Be the change in the world that we need. So
That you want to see. So Tyler, thank you, brother, so much for coming on. I appreciate it. We do have a beautiful Maui sunset happening here right behind us. And so we don't take that for granted ever.
never.
But I thank you so much, brother, for sharing your story. If you want to give to Tyler, his Venmo's in the comments. I'll put it in the description as well. Come visit him. Go out on an eFoil Hawaii tour with him. He'll take great care of you. Visit his channel, which is Survive or Thrive.
Yes, at Survivor Thrive, no spaces, no capitals. Check it out. Some good content's coming soon.
He just dropped a video yesterday of a teacher. I won't steal the thunder of the whole video, but she has a roster of X number of children,
Yeah.
and that number is now different.
There was 22 before school started, and now there's 16. So that just kind of puts everything in perspective. That's one class out of, several classes here on the west side.
The unending question of where are the children, and why can't we just get an accurate body count? How does the body count go up and then go down?
Yeah, too many red flags for this one.
Too many unanswered questions. So thank you guys again. I appreciate it. We're getting ready to get blown out. Hey, before I forget, here's a sign. Tyler and I prayed before this live, and I think this is a sign. We've got a little rainbow right there. God's promise.
God's promise.
God's promises are true forever. All right, until next time, Eric West and Tyler, out.
Shoots.
Shoots. Much aloha. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Much appreciated. Until next time, Eric West out.